Israeli special forces enter Lebanon ahead of a possible ground invasion. This is coming after Hezbollah confirms that its leader, Hassan Nasrallah, was killed in a strike just days ago. U.S. forces are ordered to be ready to deploy as Iran vows revenge. Joining us now to weigh in, Aaron Cohen, Israeli special ops veteran. Aaron, it's always great to have you. As far as from what I can see, the strike on on Lebanon and on the Hezbollah leaders indicates that Israel is very strong right now, and they're moving forward. This notion of a ceasefire seems rather impossible, but at the same time, these tensions have escalated to a fever pitch. What is your opinion on where it goes from here? Because Iran is saying, these are our proxies, you killed them, there's going to be revenge.
So, Jackie, here's where I'm at with this. We have an expression in Hebrew. צריך להבין את השפה של המזרח התיכון, which means you need to speak the language of the Middle East. And Bibi Netanyahu, who's one of our special operations veterans, Seret Matkal, our General Staff Reconnaissance Unit, comes from the world of counterterrorism. Bibi is speaking the language of the Middle East, which is peace through strength. We just took out Hassan Nasrallah. We just wiped out a monster portion of Hezbollah in the last 10, 11 days. And where I'm at with this is Israel is blitzing right now. This is a multi-pronged operation, and starting with those pagers, which took years to get that set up, taking out those comms, and now moving on to taking out the Radwan terror cell, which is their elite terror unit, and then moving on to Hassan Nasrallah, who has been the instigator and a murderer in the Middle East for almost 3 decades. And so Israel's sprinting right now. And they're on what I believe is the 4th phase, which is they're moving special operations commando elements. So it'll be a limited incursion. The Agos unit, which is Israel's Green Berets equivalent, Seret Golani, which is another special operations element. And they're going to start moving, Jackie, to start cleaning out additional pockets of where those missiles are capable of being launched from, and then taking out pockets of militants. And so this is Israel just conducting action as quickly as possible before what I believe the brakes will be put on by the Biden-Harris administration, like we saw in Rafah.
All right, so Aaron, let me ask you about that, because President Biden was asked about this ground incursion into Lebanon. This is what he had to say.
Mr. President, is a ground incursion into Lebanon inevitable? Time for a ceasefire.
Will you respond to the missile attacks on the U.S. warships in the Red Sea?
We're responding.
He says it's time for a ceasefire. To me, it's like he's not even thinking about what's going on at this point. He's just parroting some words. But you mentioned that you thought Biden would put the brakes on. How would he do that?
Well, Biden's going to put pressure on Bibi just like he did in Rafah. And that's very, very dangerous, guys, in the Middle East. The only language that terrorism understands is strength, or in Hebrew, koach. And the moment Biden put that pressure on Rafah, here's the thing, guys. The White House doesn't have the stomach to be able to handle the social media algorithms that are blasting all of the fake propaganda across the planet. This is mainly TikTok, those 18 to 24-year-olds, which is controlled by China. So they're putting out false propaganda, New York Times, all this stuff's all getting cooped in to this ball of monstrous propaganda these kids are consuming, and that gets all the way up to the White House, and then he starts to feel the heat because he's in an election right now, and this ultimately falls on Kamala. And so Israel knows that it's nonsense. Israel knows that Israel needs to protect itself. This is our survival. So Israel's blitzing right now, hoping that they can get as much destruction in on Hezbollah as possible to signal to Iran and the IRGC, look what we did with Ismail Haniyeh, look what we did with Fuad Shukr, look what we did with Hassan Nasrallah just now. And so Israel's got a tremendous amount of signaling and psychological strength right now. It's the only thing these people understand, guys. So Biden, that mistake he made in Rafah, I believe killed Hirsch. I believe killed the other 5 hostages. Had they not put the brakes on Israel, our Yamam, our Seret Matkal, we would have been able to rescue them. And so those special ops units sprinting into Lebanon, trying to clean out as much as that as possible, knowing at the end of the day, Bibi's got to play with Kamala and the Biden administration to some degree. So Israel's just trying to clean up as much as they can right now. But it's a mistake to pull the brakes on Israel. I'm not saying this for any other reason other than I'm going to say it again. You got to speak the language of the Middle East. And the only thing these whack job murderers understand, guys, is strength. And so Bibi's playing it right now. And Israel is going to continue to conduct their operations, and then eventually we're going to see a slowdown is what's going to end up happening.
Aaron Cohen, thank you.